Alright, so this is going to be a bit of a slightly different video. Um, I'm going to avoid all spoilers about Shenmue 2, because I know a lot of people are playing these games right now, myself included, because Shenmue 3 just came out. And Shenmue, way back was kind of a huge deal. And right now we're in Shenmue 2. We're in, like, the opening, kind of like, the opening zone of the game, and I just want to talk about, like, how much I kind of love Shenmue, and I hate it at the same time, but mainly love it. And I just kind of want to go to the arcade, and just kind of, like, chill out in the Shenmue arcade after we do this big run, and hopefully I don't get lost. So for those that aren't, like, super familiar with Shenmue, Shenmue is originally a Dreamcast game, Shenmue and Shenmue 2 both, but I'm playing the Steam release of the HD collection, but the HD collection's also on, I think, PS4, Xbox One, maybe? I don't know about that one. It's on the Windows Store. Shenmue 2 is originally on Dreamcast in Europe and Xbox original in the United States. Yeah, it's like on a bunch of different platforms, but like what's really cool about Shenmue is like how ambitious of a game it is. So Shenmue, basically long story short, is your father is killed and you play as Ryu Hazuzuki, and you need to figure out who killed your father, like what's his name, where is he, and kind of try and carry out your revenge. And I gotta remember which way to go, sorry, and talk about this at the same time. It's very tricky for me. I believe this is the right way. Yeah, it is. Pretty sure it is. But you kind of like simulate life doing that. So you need to talk to people. You got to figure out where people are. And the game doesn't really hand you things. This game, you can buy maps, like in the bottom left corner, which aren't super helpful, but you can get them. But first game didn't even have that. Like, you actually physically had to go up to stands like this right here, and you had to, like, physically look at them and figure out, where am I? How does this work? Like, where am I going? Where are these places? And you had to, like, use the conversations you had with people about where they maybe saw select people, or where they saw select items, and, like, you had to find your way there. Using traditional navigation, and if you look in the top right, there's like a real timer going, because everything in this game happens on a timer. Certain things only happen at certain times, and you gotta be there at the certain times for it to happen. You have to get currency. Is it this way? I think it's this way. So you gotta be there, like, you gotta collect currency, and you can work part-time jobs. Like, Shenmue 2 has a bunch of part-time jobs. You can work at gambling stands. You can lift boxes for people. Or you can kind of go to gambling houses and gamble away. I'm really lost, by the way. But I think I'm going the right way now. I think. I gotta find Fortune. I think I get there from the Golden Quarter. So yeah, basically you're working part-time jobs. You're talking to people trying to, like, solve the murder of your father. You're showing up to places at very select times. And one of the things about Shenmue that I really loved is how you had to kill time sometimes, because sometimes you had a lot of time to yourself with nothing to do. And what Shenmue 1 has and Shenmue 2 has, now mind you, I'm not as big into Shenmue 2's arcade, but I don't have like a good save file for Shenmue 1 to go back to it unless I want to play for like an hour. And I really don't. But you can go into an arcade and they actually have like real games in here, and like this is like one of the time wastes you can do alongside so many other things. And like it's a fully featured arcade, and you just put like money in it. You can win prizes. Like, here's one of the machines. This is QTE Battle, or QTE Title, because one thing about Shenmue is it really started I shouldn't say innovating, but it started bringing QuickTime events into the forefront of gaming, which was a thing that lasted like 10 years. I feel like it's died down a little bit with QTEs now, but Shenmue like really started kickstarting it. And this is like a trainer for it, which is really cool. We're gonna really try pretty hard at this, because I really like this game. And they have 2 QTE games. We'll play the other one directly after this, because why not? But in the world of Shenmue, because I had so much waiting to do, I will just kind of like sit down. I'll just chill out in the arcade for like an hour or two. In fact, I've been streaming through all of Shenmue 1 and 2. And Shenmue 1 probably has like 3 hours of me sitting in arcade waiting for events, playing Hang On, and these QTE titles, and just chilling out, getting high scores. It was really, really cool. Like, it sounds mind-numbing, but like you kind of get like super immersed in the world. And the story's so good in Shenmue that like these little quirks of the game that you might think would be super boring actually aren't that bad to deal with at all. Not even one bit. I don't know. Like, I can't help but love it. Like, I just have to love Shenmue. I can't not. Let's play Excite QTE. Why not? It's basically the same idea. Just another quick time event trainer. Whatever. We'll chill out on this one. I got a really high score on this one in, like, Shenmue 1. I got, like, 250,000, I think. Which is, like, a miracle for me. But, hold on. Can I, like, quit out of this? I already want to restart. You know what? No, we're not gonna be no bitch. But yeah, I don't know, like, Shenmue's just really, really cool. And it's just, like, a lot of, like, what brings Shenmue to life is, like, all the side activities to do to kill time. Because the thing is, like, they're not really forced on you. Like, you can avoid doing them for the most part. Like, there's certain things you'll want to do. Anyways, to earn money. But, like, if you just, like, want to stand in a corner, you can stand in the corner and progress the game just fine. For the most part. But the thing is, like, why would you? When you can do so many other things in Shenmue that are so fun. And the arcade, I think, is, like, the perfect example of one of the really fun things you can do. So, big ups to Shenmue. Let's see how far I get in this, because I already screwed up really bad. Multiple times. And I acknowledge this fact. Also, this has been like a very disjointed ramble. So be it. Because look, it's 2:30 p.m. I should have recorded this like 4 hours ago. I'm shot. I'm tired. I'm also partially food comaed. And that's okay. This is also like the 4th attempt at recording a video I had today. All my other video ideas just didn't really feel right, and I was like, you know what, we're gonna try the Shenmue thing again. Because I wanted to do it yesterday. But I just never got around to it. I swear I pressed X. Yeah, whatever. But there's the QTE games, but like that's not like all there are, right? Like Sega actually put their legit arcade games in this too. Like we got Space Harrier and we also got Outrun in this. But let us play some Space Harrier. Why not? And then maybe like once I play like one of like every game, maybe I'll show some other stuff you can kind of do within the world of Shenmue. Because it's really cool. The side stuff's really, really, really cool. And I think Shenmue 2 handles doing the side stuff a lot better. There's a lot more to do. Here we go. There's like a lot more to do, I should say. Like a lot. Because Shenmue 1 was like very light on the side content, admittedly. Like there's some gachapon machines, which I'll show some here. Where you can kind of collect gachapon and cool, why not? And then you look at like little 3D models. Like whatever. And you can talk to people and there's like little side mission-y things you can do. And there's like a bunch of stuff to find too. Like I found like a bunch of Easter eggs like around like the Ryo Hazuzuki home in the first game. So it's stuff to like kind of keep you occupied, but I think Shenmue 2 does a lot better job at keeping you occupied. Like a much better job, like almost too good of a job. I actually didn't really like Shenmue 2 at first because I felt super overwhelmed by the sheer amount of stuff they wanted me to do and all the stuff that was on the map. But then I got very much used to it, and I kind of went, you know what, Shenmue 2 is actually really good. So if you're like someone like me too, that like played Shenmue 1, really liked it, then started Shenmue 2, felt overwhelmed, and was like, you know what, I'm not into this, and kind of stopped, give it another shot. let the game breathe for a couple of hours. It grows on you. And you're like, wow, this is like actually like a huge step up in almost every single way. The only thing I would say is kind of a step down in Shenmue 2 right now. Well, there's two things. There's really tricky QuickTime events that just don't feel like they work. And the other thing is, I feel like the navigation of the world is eh. Shenmue 1 made such a small area feel large. And like you felt like you knew every area of that world by the time it was done. But yet you still felt like you could still like discover more. But you knew like every NPC, you knew like all the shops, you knew what was going on in that game at any given time. And it was so cool. Shenmue 2? I've been advancing through the plot, like I'm getting pretty close to the end. I'm in completely new areas, and yet I still haven't seen even like all the opening area. I haven't walked into all the shops, I haven't talked to all the NPCs yet, and I'm playing like at a pretty normal pace right now. Like I feel like there's almost too much to see in Shenmue 2 compared to Shenmue 1. Like it's a little bit overwhelming, like it feels like they kind of just jammed a little bit too much game world in here. And they could have easily halved the size of the areas you're in, and the game would have been just as effective, I think. If not, like, even more effective. But that's just me. Like, look how lost I even got getting to the arcade. And yeah, I've put, like, probably like 12 or 13 hours in Shenmue 2 so far. More than that. And, like, I'm still unsure, and I've gone to this arcade multiple times now. Hey, this is what it is. I only know, like, certain areas really well. But there's Space Harrier.
The game's over.
Alright.
Enough for one day.
Let's do the one other... I mean, there's two other games here. There's darts. The darts are kind of a waste of time. I wonder if... Actually, I haven't even done darts in Shenmue 2 yet.
Darts. One game, $5.
We'll say. It's kind of like if it's anything like Shenmue 1's, I'm just gonna have to like look like at a ghostly hand and press A in the perfect time to get a bullseye. Because Ryo has like the least steady hand of all time. Let's say. I'm going to assume it's gonna be the same thing. Yep. Ooh, that was bad. Ryo, you got nothing. Don't even be proud of that.
Man, so close.
What was that? Oh yeah, I'll show some other stuff like once I'm done with this arcade. They made this a lot more difficult. Like a lot more difficult in Shenmue 2. Holy crap. This is trickier.
Last one.
There we go. But I saved it at the end. Lovely.
Wow, the high score. No more darts.
There's one more thing to look at in the arcade, and that is Outrun, which is a favorite game of mine.
$1 a game.
But I'm getting just destroyed in Shenmue Outrun. Like just destroyed. Let's see how this goes. Alright, shift to high gear. Let's see if I can kind of keep control of things. Outrun's so good. And I would love to do a video or like a stream on Outrun 2006. Which was on PSP and PS2. So good. Yeah, sometimes like you can just like find yourself doing this for like an hour or two in Shenmue and just kind of forget like you actually have like a big overarching plot to take care of, and you have places to be in the game, or else you have to wait like another day. Or rather, that was more the case in Shenmue 1. Because Shenmue 1, like if you missed a thing, you had to wait a full day and had to like repeat sections at times. Shenmue 2 actually has a wait feature where if you get to a place ahead of time, like you can just hit wait on the clock, and like you can kind of wait for it to pop up, which I've taken advantage of a few times. But there's still, like, a lot of stuff to wait for in Shenmue 2 anyways. Let's go right. Why not? See if I can make it to the next area, but I already crashed twice. Oh wow, I actually got the checkpoint. I'm surprised. With 2 crashes? Damn. I feel like really accomplished right now. But yeah, Shenmue 2 has like a few like little convenient changes to it to make the waiting a little bit less brutal. Because I had like some upwards of like 40-minute waits in Shenmue 1 where there was literally nothing I could do. Shenmue 2 doesn't really have as much of that. But Shenmue 2 like has so much content in it that you just kind of sometimes want to just chill out and just check out what's in front of you. I don't know, like, there's just, like, so much, like, worth checking out Shenmue for. Even if, like, you're not, like, big into, like, story-heavy games and stuff, like, it's still, like, a cool, like, little curiosity piece. Especially when you consider it was, like, one of the most expensive games of all time to make back in the day. And even to this day, I still think it ranks up there as, like, one of the most expensive. And, like, you know, it finally's got a sequel. Like, after, like, 17 years of waiting, Shenmue 3 is finally out. And apparently it's not much different than Shenmue 1 or 2 outside of graphics, so it's like... It's such like an odd series of games. But it's so good.
I'd better not.
But Shenmue's really just kind of like it's a fever dream. It really is a fever dream. And I'm kind of glad I can just make a video on just the side stuff you can do. Like, for instance, let's get a gachapon. Let's get a Virtual Fighter 2 gachapon, why not?
Capsule toy, $5 each.
Like, why not?
Looks interesting.
Let's think, right? Like, this video's been going on for like 18 minutes now, 17 minutes?
I'll have some more fun.
Like, right? And yet, since I started this video, only about 2.5, 3 hours have gone by in game. And sometimes you have like 12 hours to kill. Just kind of like give you an example or like an idea of like how much time you have to kill in this game sometimes. Because something pops up like at 8 and you don't want to use the wait feature in this game, or at Shenmue 1 you don't have the wait feature. I mean, just to consider like how slow the time moves, like you have to find stuff to do. And I would love to like talk to NPCs and stuff in this video and whatnot, but this save is actually in a very pivotal point of the Shenmue 2 story. It was the best option for a save for me to use for this video, but unfortunately it means I don't really want to talk to people or go into stores and things because of spoilers. And I'm really trying to be as spoiler-free as possible here for those that really want to check out Shenmue. But let's check out like 2 or 3 more really quick things here, which I'd have to get to by going to the pier, which is through Aberdeen, which is up here. I actually navigated perfectly for once, because I've had to do this exact run many times. I know like the arcade to the pier run really, really well. Sir, you are in my way. I should also mention that Shenmue kind of controls like a tank. Or Ryo controls like a tank, I should say. He does a lot of turns very wide. If you're into like precision movement, not the game for you. But like here's another like side thing you could do. I'm not gonna do it right now, but like you can kind of like play these little pachinko kind of machines. Well, not really pachinko, but I guess it is. Where you play against the dealer, and like whoever lands in the safe zone the most wins money. Like, there's a little side activity you can do. You can shop. You can find little side missions around. We're gonna go to another cool little side mission up here, actually. But I'm only gonna do one of them because it's gonna kill my hand. But yeah, just like think about like what this game's kind of doing, right? And remember that this was a Dreamcast game that came out like in 2001 or like 2002. Shenmue 2 at least. Shenmue 1 I think was 2000. Yeah, it's actually kind of like nuts. I don't think I can go back this way, can I? No, that's a shame. That's closed off for now.
Hey, kid. If you got time, he'll be your each bet it. Wanna try?
Alright, I'm gonna lose. But there's arm wrestling.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm on the final stage of the arm wrestling. And like it's actually painful. And you're gonna hear how fast I'm tapping this controller, and I'm sorry for how loud it is. But I swear it's impossible unless I had like a turbo controller. Here we go. There's no way I'm beating this dude. Get some knuckle crack going. Here we go.
I'll take it easy on you, boy.
Didn't ask.
Ah, you wish you did.
I'll say fight, and then you begin.
I'm getting hyped up. I'm gonna lose so hard.
Fight!
Dead. Ugh. Oh, that hurt.
Too bad. Come back again. We'll always be here.
Anytime, amigo.
Do I dare try him again? No? No. That's like another side mission you can do. There's actually like a side job you can do in here, and this is like the first side job you get in the game. If you want to do it, it's super annoying. I'll show it in a second, but I'm gonna show like one of the little gambling houses, because they're like hidden all over the place. Like this is like a high roller one. So you can find like these like little hidden gambling places, and you can be like, I want to make some money.
Excuse me.
Hey, buddy, try a game?
No.
Sorry, but
Alright.
I almost screwed up and like spoiled some story there. It's okay. Here we go.
come and see. Young man, do you want to earn some money with big or small?
We're gonna play some big or small.
I'll play.
Good. Now, how much are you betting?
And there's a bunch of different like little gambling games here, but we'll bet 500. I'm not attached to the save file, screw it. But we're gonna roll 3 dice, and we have Chow, which is like a straight with dice. Zhenjiang, which would be I have to roll a 10 or 11. Big, which is 12 or higher, I think is the win. And then small, I believe, is like 1 through 9. Let's bet on big.
It's here.
Good. Let the game begin.
And let's lose all our money.
1, 4,
That's small.
4. It's small.
Bam.
Sorry about
Goodbye
that.
my money.
How about another game? It's no fun
That's a shame, I'm broke.
No, I won't.
That's okay, because it's only 12 p.m. I got a lot more time to kill in this world. So be it, let's go work our part-time job lifting boxes. If they'll let me do it. So I just gotta go find my boss in the docks here. Here he is.
Hey, boss.
Hey, it's you.
Can I work here again?
Good. Do you have time?
And now we're gonna work. I'm only gonna do like one quick thing of this because it's really annoying.
Sure.
This is the most boring, monotonous thing in the game and almost maybe want to quit. But it's just an example of the stuff you can do.
See you again. Let's get started. Okay, we're going to carry it over there.
Sure.
So this is just basically doing QuickTime events to put away boxes for no reason. But you get paid $10 per box.
Okay, unless I tell you otherwise, keep pushing forward.
Sure.
Yeah.
As you can tell, this is just delightful.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Left. Yeah. Left. Left. Right.
We're going right. Keep going right. Keep going right.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Right. We're putting it down.
But yeah, there you go. That's the box lifting. It's just one of the things you can do for money in this game. But I don't have it in me to keep going. I think it's been 25 minutes.
Pretty good.
But yeah, like overall, like Shenmue's just like a really cool series, and I think one of the things that just brings it together is like the side content and the side stuff you can just kind of do in this game. Be it talking to people, be it doing odd jobs like this, hanging out in an arcade, doing gachapon machines, just generally checking out the shops, trying to find Easter eggs, trying to find like little side missions, as you try and balance like the main missions and things like that. Like it's really cool, like just kind of the world that Shenmue 1 and 2 kind of build. And I don't know, like I just kind of love it. Shenmue's a really, really cool game. I've been super into it. I really enjoyed 1 way back when I first played it back on Dreamcast. And I barely ever played 2, but kind of going back to it now. Much older, I appreciate them a whole lot more. And while they can be kind of monotonous and kind of boring at times, at the same time, like there's nothing else quite like Shenmue. And I just love it. So thank you for chilling out and watching me kind of show some of the side stuff you can go do in this game. I mean, I know I mainly just spent it in an arcade, but so be it. I just like talking about this game. It's cool. Y'all have a lovely day, and toodles.